Happy Thursday, everybody. How's it going? Good to see you. I really can't see you. Good to have you here, though. How about that? I got the computer up and running, so again, if you see me glancing over to my left, you're right. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the chat. Right now, I'm watching an ad play on my channel. Some kind of game. Be the best. HeroWars.com. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, good to see everybody. Like I said, if you got a sec, take the poll. I got the poll up and running. We have 4 questions for you this time. I've been ice fishing this year, and then you have 4 options: 1 to 5 times, 5 to 10 times, more than 10 times, and where the beep is the ice. So, Jeff Abbott telling me Lima Charlie loud and clear. Good to know. Let me do a little camera adjustment here. My video is just popping up so I can see myself. Usually that's about the right angle. We'll see. All right. There we go. Jim Dabrowski is here, also saying Lima Charlie. Thanks, Jim. Tangled Tackle Army member Jim Dabrowski. Looks like you're up to either a corporal or a sergeant there, Jim. Congrats, man. Andrew Bowman, you as well. Patrick Forster, also all Army members. Fishhawk, another Army member. Good to see all of you. It's kind of cool to see those names pop up in green. Got a lot of other people here. Andrew Bowman just threw me a super chat from Canada. Mr. Bowman, you are a... Thank you. That was very nice of you. That definitely helps support the channel. Man, Mark, Andrew, thanks. Yeah, thank you. You caught me off guard with that. You're a good guy. Chrome Catfish Chargers is here. That's a name I've not seen before. Does Tangled Tackle have any wire diver rods in stock? Have no idea, my man. Have not been there in a couple days. Check out the website. The website is right down below, tangledtacklecompany.com. And if you look in the rod selection, you should be able to find what you need. Or call the shop. Always happy to help you. 231-887. Oh my God, I forgot the number. I haven't called it in so long. 5252. 887-5252. I'm almost certain that's it. If I'm wrong and you get somebody on a wrong number, just tell them I said hi anyway. Oh, Jason Wilkerson. There's a name I haven't seen in a few weeks, but good to see you back. A lot of thumbs up coming in. Appreciate that, everybody. Gary Davey, Jeff Abbott, John Levitt, Brian Waters, Mark Stahl. Mark Stahl wanting to know, when am I retiring? Mark, I have until the end of this month. At the end of this month, I turn into a pumpkin, I pop smoke, and I am gone. So I think I have like 10 working days, 12 working days until that happens, something like that. I'm ready to go, though. I've had a lot of people ask me over the years, what is it that I do for a day job or for my real job? You know, if that's something that everybody's really interested in, maybe I'll answer that in an upcoming video. It's something I've always kept private. But maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Scott Argetsinger is here, and Nice and Meat is here as well. You see their names in blue. They are both moderators, guys. Thank you so much for both being here. Scott, of course, is the general manager at DREAMWEAVER, charter captain. I love having Scott here because anything I miss as far as fishing related or tackle related, DREAMWEAVER related, man, Scott's here. He just pounces on those questions. Great guy. And Nice and Meat is here because another good guy. He works at Tangled Tackle. And if you have any questions for the and he's on the channel all the time. So if you have any questions regarding the shop, Nice and the guy had a question. I want to know if any wire diver rods were in stock. Nice, and if you can answer that somewhere in the chat here, man, that'd be great. But that's why they're here. And they help everybody play nice. But we don't have that problem on this channel. We don't have that. I've seen it on so many other channels. Just bickering and crud and backstabbing and name calling, you name it. We don't have that here. That's a testament to all of you out there. Thank you for being so, I don't know, just you're good people. So thanks for being here. Anyway, let's see what I'm missing. See what I am missing. Bill Gerlach, another Army member. Hugh Merrill, another Army member. Good to see you guys. Yeah, Nice, and you got the number for me. I appreciate that. So yeah, the question tonight on the poll is, I've been ice fishing this year 1 to 5 times, 5 to 10 times, more than 10 times, or where the beep is the ice. Right now, where the beep is the ice is way out in front of 68%, and that is it's the issue we have here also. So we can talk about the fishing report. Let's do that. Sometimes I even forget about the fishing report, and that's on me. I don't mean to. I just get talking to everybody. So I like talking to people out here, and I forget about it. So fishing report around here, just honestly, there's not a whole lot going on. Most everybody is waiting for the ice. We had it, and then we lost it, and now we're trying to get it back. But looking at the upcoming weather, last time I looked, and I can actually bring that up right now. Yeah, we're not having really cold weather for another 3 or 4 days. It looks like it's crazy. I mean, it was like the weather tried to kill us for a week, then it felt bad, and now it's trying to be nice to us. Yeah, I'm looking at tomorrow 33, 34, 37, Monday at 40 degrees, and then Tuesday 37, and then we get back down in the 20s middle of next week. But then by the end of the week, it's back up in the mid 30s. So it's going to be sketchy. You're better off, I think, jumping in a boat right now. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of places out there where if you could get a boat out, that's the way to go. Reminds me, Tangle Tackle. Yeah, Paul Schmuckel, I hear you, dude. Put the boat back in. Paul, I just mailed your winnings out today, by the way. Everybody from last week on the big drawing, I've just mailed everybody's winnings out today, so those are coming. And thanks to everybody for being a part of that last week. If you didn't see it, we gave away a check to Repo's Rescues for $4,700 from everybody's generous donations. The people from Repos were just blown away by that. I was blown away by that. The poor girl started to cry, and then my wife started to cry, and then I got misty-eyed, and I had to like choke it back for a sec. But man, that was a really cool thing to see how much everybody helped those guys out. So that was really, really nice. We'll do that again. We will do that again next year. Next December, we'll help another charity out, or the same one. We'll leave it up to the channel next year. But back to what I was saying, Tangle Tackle is having what they're calling the Triple Threat Fishing Tournament right now. Nice, and help me out with the information here. I'm not going to bring it up. I have it here, but you can help me out. If I remember though right, it's a 2-segment tournament. It's a derby, really. It's not a tournament. It's a derby. It goes for long periods of time. I think the first segment might be for January, and the next segment maybe for February into March. If I remember right, I think it was for pike, walleye, and perch. Biggest ones. And it's a $5 buy-in right at the shop. Go to Tangle Tackle, throw your $5 in, 100% payout. Winner take. It's not a winner takes all. I don't mean it like that, but it's 100% payout. So for $5, I don't know, you might win a few $100. That's kind of cool. You never know. You never know if you're going to tie into that big one. And I believe it's open for any lakes in Manistee County. Yeah. All right. Nice, and you're beating me to it, but yeah. Let me get back to the fishing report, though. So around here, not much going on, like I said, as far as the ice goes. There's just not much out there. If you can get a boat out, I have heard a few people going out on Manistee Lake and getting a few perch, but as far as solid details on that, I just don't have any. The river it's been okay. It hasn't been crazy good. It's been okay. 2 to 3 fish, typically a trip. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. Sounds like jigs, steelhead jigs, or teardrop type jigs with waxworms have been doing pretty good. Don't forget, this time of the year, the water gets cold. Those fish in the river, they tend to congregate to those deeper holes. They're not going to be in the tail outs. They're not going to be in the hard runs. They're going to be in that deeper water where, they're not going to be in the foam like they normally are. They're going to be trying to sit someplace where they don't have to expend so much energy, and maybe some free victuals come floating floating down the river towards them. So, like I said, seems to be waxworms on the jigs have been the best, but still some spawn bags, some beads. Your typical arsenal is probably going to do just fine if you can get out there. I don't know how busy the river has been. I'm sure it's been somewhat busy with the warmer weather, and with the warmer weather continuing, I'm sure there's going to be people wanting to get out there and fish, which reminds me, nice and thanks. Yeah, the piers are catching some fish also. Reminds me, from the $100 Steelhead Challenge, I'm heading out this Saturday. Gonna get after that, see if I can get that rod. We got all that gear for $100. I'm taking it out this Saturday, weather permitting. We're going to see if we can put something into the net using all that tackle. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to bring you some great content on that. And then my thought on that is going forward is if that doesn't work out, or even if it does work out, say we have a couple of really good fish. Even if that does work out, I want to take that same rig with me out on a couple of friends' boats in the near future and see if we can get something from the boats as well. Just give you some new techniques, some ideas, and maybe some tackle to pick up. And I'm taking a couple of young guys with me on Saturday, if this all plays out, and it's looking like it's going to. Well, you know how these young guys are around here. They they fish a ton of time, and they know the little secret spots. I know the old timers do too, but sometimes those young guys, and by young I mean in their 20s, those guys are hard running, gunning guys, and they're out there all the time. So they said they're going to take me out, show me a couple spots. I'm looking forward to it. You're never too old, and don't ever be too stubborn to say I can't learn anything more. Especially, some people our age, by our age I mean old, my age, we get so stubborn, and we look at the younger generation, we go, man, it's not the way we did it, or they don't know what they're doing, or I tell you what, there's guys I fish with half my age probably run me in circles. So yeah, don't be so stubborn like I've been in the past. I learned a long time ago. Get over your ego. Get out there and learn anything you can from anybody. All right, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I heard also, Nyson, that the piers have been doing okay. Nyson, if you got more information on that, please throw it out there. That's why I got you here, my friend. You're doing a great job. Thumbs up from a lot of people coming in. Jim Dabrowski, Teresa Flanders, another name I've seen on here forever. Matt Tim. Got some short ice Saginaw. Got on some shore ice on Saginaw Bay. Did pretty good on some nice perch. Good. Yeah, I would love to be out there myself also. But that's really the information I have for around here as far as the fishing report. Hopefully that will change in the near future with the addition of some ice coming, I'm sure, soon. Bill Gerlach saying he doesn't have the energy younger people have. Yeah, that. Oh well, what do? You make up for it in wisdom. All right, the Tangle Tackle Kit is out for January. We'll jump into that next. Let me see if I have a picture of that up. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, right there. So yeah, the Tangle Tackle January kit is up. It's a nice kit too. If you haven't jumped on these things yet, we're going to try to do these at Tangle Tackle every month. And what we do is we get with DREAMWEAVER rather, with Scott down there. We try to put together a kit that's going to give you a jump start for the upcoming year. Maybe some things that you have, maybe you want a few more of, or maybe some things that we know that work that you don't have. So I'm looking at the kit. I see two spinnies. One's a flat, or a paddle rather, and one's a spin doctor. Looks like Yellow Haze and the A-Bomb paddle. That's a really good paddle. Two flies. It looks like, which one is that? I can't see it, the names out of the picture. I know one of the flies is brand new for this year. It's the Paycheck fly. This thing really looks good. It looks like a Riverside on steroids, but really good looking fly. And then some super slim spoons. Looks like 6 of them. It looks like a Monkey Puke, Mixed Veggies, Lance's Two-Face, NBK, a Super Ice. Oh, just Starburst, and then the Carbon. Yeah, that's a good looking kit. So for $80, you're saving money there for sure. That's a good looking kit. Anyway, that if you want to grab that link is down in the details of this video. I'm looking and doing things and talking at the same time, and sometimes I fail greatly at that. There we go. Back on it. Yeah, the big A fly. Nice, and I tell you, that big A fly for me was hot. That thing is a really, how do I want to say? It's not as thick as some of the other flies. Like if you look at a Riverside, a Pickled Sunshine, a Dark Blue Fly, Green Crinkle, those are all a little thicker than that big A fly. That big A fly's got some really nice UV properties into it, some nice flash, a little bit thinner on the material. And I found there's days I can get that fly to go, and only that fly to go, with some really good like green UV beads, yellow UV beads, even chrome UV or chrome beads that I can get from Purple Taco. Sometimes I run that. If you've never tried that, give it a rip. Purple Taco sells chrome beads. They're chrome and they're silver. I'm sorry, chrome or silver. And they also have some gold ones as well. And I got some of those on the boat. And sometimes I'll take those minimalistic flies like that Big A where it doesn't have as much material, but I'll back it with some really flashy beads. Man, I tell you what, some days that is bonsai. Bonsai. So, yeah, little tip for you. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, Josh Atwood is a good selection. All right. Really, guys, gals, that's about it. If you're looking to grab any custom fishing apparel from the Salmon Shop, our custom apparel store, it's 23% off right now until the 8th. So you get about 3 days. If you want to grab some stuff up, please do. Links in the description. And yeah, there's some good designs on there. Some people have given me like ideas for designs, but the majority I've come up with myself just based on stupid experiences I've had on the boat. So if you want to check those out, I'm sure you'll get a chuckle out of a few of them. Steve S is late again, but he's saying hello to everybody. That's all good. All good, Steve. Dale DeCorte, or DeCourt, saying he missed the start. How'd that happen, man? That's on you, my man. I don't know. All right. Let's check out the poll, see where we're at on here. All right. I've been ice fishing this year. 1 to 5 times, 5 to 10, more than 10. Where the beep is the ice. Where the beep is the ice is way on the lead. At 72%. We have 57 votes on that. Few people have been out more than 10 times. Where do you guys live? Like the Arctic Circle? I don't know if there was enough. I guess there was probably enough time here where you could get out for about 10 times or more. You had to be going about twice a day though, but good for you. Really good for you. We'll end that poll here in just a few minutes. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Anything in the chat. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you got going on? What do you guys want to discuss? I know one of the big topics that myself and a few other channels have been discussing is the consent decree for the Great Lakes, specifically here in Michigan. Don't forget on the, what was it, the 12th? Make sure I got that right. I'm sorry, the 15th of this month. The 15th of this month, I'm going to have a couple of guests on the show. One from, well, they're both Charter Boat Association members. One is also, if I remember right, the director or president of the Coalition for the Great Lakes. Those guys are both going to come onto the channel on the 15th. They're not going to be Zoom meeting. They're going to be live on the channel, sit down right next to me at Tangled Tackle, and we're going to ask them some questions. You're going to ask them some questions. Whatever you want asked, they're going to be there to answer it. And it's going to be a no BS, no politics type open forum. So again, we're going to play nice. And these guys are on our side, I think, anyway. I think everybody understands that. We're going to all play nice. We're going to be big boys and girls and put on our big boys and girls pants and be respectful. But if there's pressing questions that you want answered, I want everybody to be on that night and be ready to ask those questions. We're going to grab as many as we can, and we'll go through them all. I'm also trying to contact the DNR representative for the tribal relations, and I forget what his name is. He was on the Reel to Reel Outdoors channel a little while ago. I'm trying to get him on as well. I got to give him a phone call. I don't think he'd be able to come in person, so that would likely be a Zoom meeting type thing. But I saw a couple other channels interview him. They did a good job, but there were some questions left open that I want to ask. There was a couple there that he just didn't give me the answer that I thought was sufficient. I think there was some smoke going around there a few times, so I'd like to get him also on the channel and get some questions posed to him as well. Hoping to do that by the end of February also. So stay tuned for those things. It's going to be good information, things we should all know. You guys and gals in Wisconsin, New York, I know this doesn't play in you. I get that. So if you turn off on that, I don't blame you. I'd probably do the same thing. No, Carver Hansen, I'm just answering that. No, this is Michigan waters, primarily up around the Grand Traverse into Lake Michigan, really carrying from Arcadia all the way down to Muskegon. So no, not on your side of the pond, and not over in New York as well. But don't get me wrong. just because it's happening here doesn't mean it couldn't happen in your area as well. And you know, you can look at this thing as like the end of all days and doom and gloom and all that. It's just another transition in the fishing thing. But there's so many questions that need to be answered. There's so many people out there that just don't know what I can do or what I can't do, or what a net is. You know, what a gill net is. How is it marked? What happens to a gill net at night? What happens? You know, how are people held accountable? How often are checks done? How often are limit checks done? How often is gear checked? There's a ton of questions there, tons. And as I was watching that interview with the DNR guy, many of those questions were ripping through my head, and I'd really like to see those questions posed to people that can answer them. So we'll see how that happens, or we'll see how that goes. Okay. Anyway, one other announcement I need to make. We were planning on going down to the Ultimate Sports Show in Grand Rapids here shortly. We are not doing that this year. For whatever reason, it's above my pay grade. I would love to go. I may still go with another company. I don't know. I got to get with DREAMWEAVER or Big John or somebody else, see if they'd like me to come down and spend time in a booth. If I am going to do that, I will get a hold of or I will let everybody know on a video. That way, if you're down there, I'd love you to come by, and I'd love to shake a hand, you know, meet a few people. I always enjoy doing that. All right. Mark Pearson wants to know, what are my plans for your boat this winter? Mark, I don't have any. The boat's pretty good. She's pretty dialed in. We did a lot of work on her last year, but I really don't have a whole lot of changes going on. My dripless shaft, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, the prop, on my starboard side was leaking at the end of the year. So I just had that's above my level. So I just had Onekama Marine come out and replace that seal. So that's really the only maintenance that I had done to it over the year. I'm just ready to drop her back in the water come early May or late April, fire her up, and let's go. Excuse me. Dale DeCourte, let's talk about respooling reels. Let's talk about it. What pound test do you keep on your downrigger rods? Lighter, 15 to 20? Dale, it's a good question, and it's not an uncommon question. So beginning of the year, when I'm just heading out in early May, you know, through June and whatnot, going for salmon, lake trout, really you might get a few browns as well, some steelhead. My downrigger rods normally have 20-pound test on them. There's guys that run 25-pound test year-round, and there's guys that will start off as light as 12-pound test and then beef it up as the season goes on. But for me, usually early part of the year until mid-July, I'm running 20-pound test on my downrigger rods. And with the trend that we've had over the last couple of years with the bigger fish, I mean, by bigger fish, there's some big fish out there. I'm normally bumping it up to 25-pound test from mid-July to the end of the season. But again, there's more than one way you can do it. A lot of guys swear by 12 to 15 to 17 to 20 to 25 on up. Some guys swear by 25 all year. Me, I just go the two-way, or go 20 or 25. You know, that's my way. But there's a lot of ways you can do it. Brian Kerber, hope to see you in Grand Rapids. Brian, hope to be seen in Grand Rapids. We'll see how that goes. Dave Verstow, all right, man, yeah, let's go Lions. Okay, I don't mean to bore everybody to death with my Lions talk, and I don't think I've ever really bored anybody that badly, but pretty proud of the Lions. I think they still have a chance to get in the playoffs. If the Panthers hadn't handed them their lunch a couple weeks ago, they would be in the playoffs. But the Panthers, I don't know where they came from, they just kicked our you-know-what and made us look awful. The last week against the Bears, boy, did we come back. We'll see how they do this weekend against the Packers. But it should be a really good game. I got a couple friends actually going to that game over at Lambeau. I'm a little jealous of them. They should have a really good time. All right. Oh, Dale DeCourte, one other thing I'll throw on the downrigger thing is on your center downrigger. Here in Michigan, we call it the chute rigger, like going down the middle, down the chute, or the middle downrigger. A lot of guys run braid on that with a mono leader at the end, like a 30-foot long, 40-foot long mono leader. The reason being is if you run If you run braid and you put it onto a blacks release where you have to twist a line and put it into a blacks, it will break off like that. Within minutes, it'll probably break off. So you're going to need a mono leader. What the benefit of that is on your center downrigger, that's typically that's your deepest presentation. And I mean, it could be 80 feet, could be past 150 feet. It leaves you very little stretch in your line. So when you're down fishing 150 feet deep on that center downrigger, when that thing does go off and you take that rod and you set back on it, or you give it a nice little tug, don't be a bassmaster. Don't be. I've had a few Kevin Van Dams on my boat before where they thought they had to put both feet on the gunnel and set the hook on those things. You don't need to do that. Take the rod out of the holder, put tension on it, start reeling. What that does though, with braid being on there, it minimizes all that stretch. So you instantly take control of that fish. They don't have slack to curl back on you, take sideway runs, and somehow shake out that hook. So if you're running deep presentations on one of your downriggers, it's not a bad idea to go to braid for your main line, your backer. And then, like I said, put a 30 to 50 foot long section amount on there. That's where you attach it to your releases. So that's a great technique. That was taught to me quite a few years ago by a good friend of mine, and it works really well. All right, what else you got? Ken Brescia from Tennessee. Always good to see you, Ken. Looks like we're slowing down. All good. No worries. No worries. Scott, thanks, man. You're answering some questions. Nice, and thank you. You're answering some questions. Appreciate all that. I got my tea going right here tonight. I'm having, what am I having? What the heck is this? Peppermint something or other. It's not bad. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Anyway, let's check the poll. We'll end that out, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so way in the lead. If you haven't taken the poll, take 30 more seconds to do it. Way in the lead with 70%, 64 votes. Where the beep is the ice. Yeah, it seems like everybody, the majority of the people out there do not have ice to be out on right now. But there's a few people who have been out more than 10 times, 5 to 10 times, 1 to 5 times. You've been out more than I have, I'll tell you that. Yeah. So congratulations to you. But yeah, the grand majority, the large majority rather, is where the heck is the ice? So we're going to end that poll right now. That should pop up on your screen. There she goes. All right. Mitch Leach wants to know, why not run braid mono leaders on all your downriggers? There's no reason you can't, Mitch. You absolutely could if you wanted to. I don't think it's necessary for your other ones. I don't set mine. Really, my out and downs, my corners, I don't set those. It's rare they get past 80. So you're not getting a whole lot of stretch at that distance. It's when you get down though past 100, that's where you really start seeing the that braid pay off. And another reason for me is, like I said, I do get a little over anxious, a little rambunctious people on the boat sometimes, where they think they gotta, like I said, turn into Kevin Van Dam and just rip that pole back as hard as they can. If I had that rod set at, say we were running at only 40 feet down, if they did that at only 30 to 40 feet down, there's a darn good chance that hook's coming right out of the mouth, or that fish is coming flying out of the water into the back, into the boat, or into somebody. So that's another reason. That's a good question. You can experiment with it. Sea fleas on braid. Here they can be bad and make a mess. Yeah, Dale, they can be. Yep, sea fleas are something you're going to have to deal with. There's not much. That's why I really like wire on my divers. The sea fleas seem to congregate much less on those. On braid though, they definitely have an issue. If you get sea fleas on your line, the easiest way that I found is if you have a fish on. Even if you don't have a fish on, when you get that line coming where it's flatter to the water, just take your rod tip and smack it on the water a couple times gently, and a lot of times those sea fleas will pop off. If you can't get that thing off there, say you're bringing in a fish and you get a clump of sea fleas that goes in your first eyelet, what I'll do is I'll throw a glove on, I'll grab that clump of sea fleas, and I'll grab that wire line, and I'll just run it up and down that line a few times, and normally that will saw it right off. But they can be a huge pain in the rear. Andy, A-N-D-E, makes a line called Flea Flicker, if I recall correctly. And it's designed, it's almost like an oval shape. It's designed to keep fleas more off your line. Not completely. They're not going to keep them completely off, but it does do a good job of keeping the majority of sea fleas off. It's a mono. It's not a wire. It's not a super line. It's not a braid. It's a mono. But for a few years there, I was running that exclusively on my downriggers, and it was okay. I did notice I had a few more breakoffs with it, though. I don't think it was quite as limber, supple, whatever, as your normal monofilament. Okay? Matt Tim wants to know, when is tight lines for troops this year? That's a good question, Matt. If you go on tightlinesfortroops.com, I don't know if they have that up yet. You know what? I'm sitting right here. Why don't we do that? I'll see if I can find that answer for you. All right, let's see what we got. May 19th and 20th, 2023. If you go on that website, there's actual places you can click on there, all the way in the top, and the little bubbles on top, all the way to the right. 2023 application. Go right there, and your friends can sign up to try to get onto a boat. That's great. Carver Hans wants to know, do I run all copper to run any pump handles? I do not run pump handles. I never have. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm sure they do. But I've always run copper, lead core, and then last year I've started getting more into the weighted steel. And for me, it's just more I stick with what I know. I've been running copper for so darn long. You can tell me the length of copper, and I'm going to tell you within probably 5 feet where its depth is at. And so if I know where the thermocline is at, and I know where if I want to be 10 above it, 10 below, and right in it, or 20 below, or whatever, I automatically know in my head which coppers I'm going to be grabbing to get to those depths. With pump handles, I think that changes, because if I recall right, it's basically a clip-on weight. I think it would depend on where you put that. You clip that weight onto the line. I think that could affect some of your running depths. I think there's some other variables there as well that are going to affect where your depths are going to be. So without knowing all that information up on the old noodle up here, I'm just not comfortable running them yet. So I'm not saying they don't work. I'm sure they do. I've heard a lot of people that do run them and they do work. They're just not for me. Okay. Derek Johnson wants to know, are we coming to the Novi show? No, I wish we were, Derek. Derek, as far as I know right now, we don't have any plans this year to come to any of the outdoor shows. That's for the shop. Again, I might be at a few shows. That nothing's for certain yet, though. All right. Mitch wants to know, also, are high-speed reels and a big advantage on downriggers, like 6-to-1? Mitch, I'm going to tell you right now, it all depends on the people you have on the boat. I run high speeds on my downriggers and on my divers. And I know boats out there that swear against that type of thing. They want low speed on their divers and they want low speed on their downriggers. My thing is, because there's many times I have inexperienced people out on charters, I want them to have good control over that fish, which means if that fish comes screaming at them, I want them to be able to catch up with it. And also the reels that I use are silky smooth on the drags. So if all of a sudden that fish takes off and goes the other way, I'm not worried about that thing just peeling off and breaking. With the higher speed for me, I mean, I run high speeds on most of my long lines too. To me, that gives me better peace of mind that my people are going to have better control over those fish. And the opposite, where if that fish comes screaming at them, they can't catch up to it or they don't recognize it fast enough, and all of a sudden they have slack, there's a real good chance that fish is going to pop right off. Whereas even if they make a fraction of a mistake second, or a mistake in some way, and it costs them a second or two, they're more likely going to be able to catch back up to one of those high speeds. So again, it depends on the people you have on your boat. If you have really experienced people on your boat, you might want to go with a slower speed. I like the high speeds, especially at the end of the day when you got to run everything in. When you get done dragging in, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 long lines, you've started appreciating those high speeds. Yeah. All right. Yeah, see, like Scott Argesinger on here. Scott's a great fisherman. He used to run the high speeds. He went back to just the regular. Again, I think it's more maybe Chevy versus Ford versus Dodge type thing. Just like with a lot of things in fishing, to be honest with you. All right, cool. Guys, gals, let's wrap it up. I appreciate everybody being here. All of you, I appreciate it. Trying to think, when am I going to be here next? I will be here, not this Sunday. I'll jump back in next Thursday. I believe that is the 12th. Let me double check. Yep, that's the 12th. Great Lakes Skier sent me a really nice package of some shirts and some hats, some other things. I'm going to give that, or I'm going to start giving that away on the 12th, so that will be a week from today, next Thursday. We'll do that as normal. We're not going to do it tonight. Don't flood the internet with anything tonight. I'll show you guys the kit that they gave us, and I'll give you some more information. They even sent me a custom rod that's going to be given away as well. That thing is super nice. So I'll show that off next Thursday. We'll start the giveaway then. We'll let that run for probably a week or so, and then we'll draw a winner on that. But anyway, that's a good reason to come back next Thursday. Get your hands on some nice free stuff, right? Yes. All right. Tom Vanderhans, you're welcome. Thanks for the thumbs up. That's it. Let's get out of here. Countdown to my retirement, Teresa. Like I said, I think I have 10 working days, 12 working days, somewhere right in there. Thanks for asking, though. Everybody, Bill Gerlach from Minneapolis. Everybody, thank you. Let's get out of here. See everybody in a week.